What are the two biggest myths surrounding self-discipline? Number one, that it takes a lifetime to achieve. And number two, that you are either born with a sense of self-discipline or you're not. And today I'm going to bust open those myths and teach you exactly what you can start doing today to increase your levels of self-discipline so that you can have the success that you truly want. Hey, I'm Annie Wolf. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so that you can always be made aware when there are new videos coming out, because I release videos with my tips, tricks, strategies, techniques for living your best life. And today we are looking at self-discipline. Now, the reason that this is really important is because discipline and the ability to discipline yourself to move forward towards your goals and your dreams is really what can make the difference between a life of mediocrity and a life that is based on what you want it to be. When you want to architect your own life, when you want to build your success, having self-discipline is what is going to get you through the hard times, but it's also what's going to keep you focused on those goals. And if you look at any high achiever, you will see that it has been the self-discipline much more than talent or luck or opportunity that has gotten them the success that they have received. And it's going to be exactly the same for you. Now, I have come through a training, a background in classical ballet, which you may or may not know. And this is what instilled in me a sense of self-discipline from a really young age. So I was really lucky, like any other high-performing athlete, to develop a sense of self-discipline at an early age, which means that I can divulge the secrets of what is actually going to make the difference for you if you are struggling with a sense of self-discipline. If you are maybe missing the mark, or you keep setting goals for yourself, or you make those New Year's resolutions, but they keep falling behind, or you keep forgetting them, or you don't get to them, or whatever it might be, whatever excuses you throw at it, it's probably a lack of self-discipline that is at the root of not achieving those goals. So if you think that is the case for you, then you are in the right place, because I am going to go through 3 really simple ways to start building your self-discipline. Now, I said at the beginning, it is not a lifetime thing. Like, you don't have to be spending your entire life building self-discipline, and you also don't have to just be born with it. You can start right now building your sense of self-discipline and get results pretty quickly. So let's dive straight into the 3 ways that you can start today. Number 1. Listen, I got to hit you with a statistic first before I go into what this strategy actually is, which is that people who make their bed on a regular basis tend to be earning higher salaries, are more happy in life, and have achieved more success. If you want to be building towards your most successful life, start small. If you want to be among those people who are maybe earning more money, maybe that's a driving force for you, or maybe it's about being happier, or maybe it's about achieving more in your life, or maybe it's all 3 of those things. Start making your bed, or some equivalent, okay? The point here is that by taking on a really small habit and making yourself do it every day, whether you can see the value of it or not, you are going to be laying the foundation for the bigger disciplines that you're going to need in order to achieve those goals. So if you start your day by making your bed, this small, relatively low time impact activity that you can do, you're setting yourself up for a day of success in terms of your mindset, let alone how your bedroom looks. That's kind of not the point. Although a lot of people do say that having a made bed gives them a sense of calm, or just a lack of chaos. Suddenly things just feel a little bit more organized. And that's a great way to start your day. But actually, it's the act of doing this small discipline. So it doesn't have to be your bed. It could be drinking a glass of water when you get up in the morning. It could be making sure that you don't check your phone before you get into the car to get to work. Whatever it is for you, some tiny, small habits that is just setting yourself up for a day of discipline. And by doing that, you are laying the foundation for increasing those levels of discipline, because making your bed in the morning doesn't really take that much effort, but you have to make yourself do it. When you have built that kind of habit into your life, then it's much easier to take on the slightly harder habits or the slightly more challenging sets of discipline that you may need to achieve those bigger goals, like not prioritizing binge watching TV, but actually instead applying for that job, whatever it might be, that's actually going to be a game changer in your life. By taking on these very small acts of self-discipline, like making your bed, or like cutting out certain foods, or something that is going to have a positive effect on your life, you are equipping yourself with the discipline that you're going to need for the bigger impact things. Number 2 is have an accountability partner. Now, it is false to believe that all of our self-discipline has to come from within. Humans by nature are lazy. This is down to our biology. We tend to avoid things that are going to burn too many calories because historically our ancestors needed to conserve calories in order to survive. So we are wired to take the lazy route. So any time that you're feeling kind of down on yourself for being a bit lazy, know that you come by it honestly, but in order to progress in life, you are going to have to overcome it. If you rely solely on yourself, you will mess up sometimes. You will falter and fail sometimes because of that drive to just chill out and be lazy and conserve calories in order to survive. It's hard to fight that natural survival instinct, and yet we must in order to have that life that we truly want, in order to succeed and get the big rewards. So, don't just rely on yourself. Find someone to hold you accountable. Now, that can be a partner, that can be a best friend, that can be a colleague at work. Anyone who is going to hold you to it. And then you have to verbalize to them, hey, I'm making you my accountability partner. I need you to check in and make sure I've done this thing, whatever it is. It could be that small discipline that we talked about first, the making your bed or whatever. But chances are you're going to be able to find the accountability within yourself to do those smaller things. It's when it comes to the bigger things, like sticking to the diet, like making sure that you are spending an hour on your business plan every day, like writing a chapter of your novel that you're promising yourself to get out there, whatever it might be for you, whatever those goals are for you. And by the way, if you need some help or guidance or support on creating your goals, check out my resources, because having a system for making and completing goals is absolutely integral to actually getting the ball rolling on those goals. So check out the resources below. You need someone to help you out, to just be there checking up on you, because it's not so much about them checking up on you, but knowing that they will, that will get you actually committing to doing the task. And look, if you don't have someone in your life, go find someone. Sometimes we don't want the immediacy of a personal relationship. Sometimes we don't want to put that pressure on our relationships. Like, we got enough going on with our significant other. We don't want them to also be our accountability partner. That may be the case for you, or it may not. They may fit that role perfectly. But if they don't, go out and find one. Go hire a coach. Go get someone who is going to make it their business to get you to succeed. Because when you've got that someone fighting in your corner for you, then you will feel the empowerment to make sure that you will succeed. There's this weird kind of responsibility that you end up feeling towards that other person. So although it's your goals that are being achieved, when you have an accountability partner, you sort of end up believing that you've got to do it for them. And that's an okay thing. We know that that goal is being achieved for you. But having that sense of responsibility, like, oh, I'm going to let them down if I don't, that's good. We want to use that because that means that you're achieving your goals using the motivation of satisfying someone else. Obviously, make sure that you are sticking to your goals and not being an accountability partner for someone else's goals and fooling yourself into believing that they are your goals. Actually, that makes me think of one other thing that I do want to bring up in the whole accountability partner thing. Buddy up with someone because you can be someone else's accountability partner just as much as they can be yours. The trick there, though, is to make sure that you are satisfying your own agenda when you are dealing with that accountability relationship as much as you are fulfilling that role for someone else. The third way to increase your self-discipline is to stop tolerating any of your excuses, because excuses are like the nemesis of self-discipline, and they will come fast and hard, especially if you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, which if you are trying to achieve your goals in life and you have made those goals big and ambitious, you will be stepping out of your comfort zone. But we have this narrative in our brain that will come up with every reason under the sun why you can't do it today, or why you can't do it right now, or why the situation isn't quite right and you'll come back to it tomorrow. Those are excuses. In fact, anything that is coming up in your head or out of your mouth that is telling you why you can't do the thing you need to do right now is an excuse. And you need to become hyper aware of when those excuses are coming out and how to deal with them, how to navigate them. Understand whether that excuse is because of fear, because you are afraid to put yourself out there, or you are afraid of what will happen if you achieve that goal. So you've got a fear of failure, or you've got a fear of success, whatever it is. So sometimes our excuses come out of a place of fear. Sometimes they come out of a place of laziness. We already talked about that. That is a natural biological response to stress, is we want to conserve our calories. We want to stay protected and we want to survive. Survival is a good thing. So we're not saying that, but we need to be hyper vigilant if it is an excuse, and we need to call bogus to it. We need to say, actually, that is just an excuse, and I'm going to put that excuse over there, and I'm going to do the thing anyway, even if I don't really feel like it, right? Sometimes you have to do the thing, even if conditions aren't right. So that brings me to the third point about excuses. Monitor if your excuse is because there's something that's not quite right about the situation that you're in, and you are using that as a reason not to do the thing. And if that's the excuse, fix the situation. Get whatever resources you need to in place. Make sure that the people who you need are there, or whatever it might be. Change the situation. Don't rely on the situation just kind of evolving as you need it to. Be active in creating the ultimate situation or environment so that you can progress with your goals. So those are the three things that you can start doing today to increase your levels of self-discipline. Remember why? Why are we trying to increase our levels of self-discipline? Because that is how we get to achieving our goals. That is how we're going to get unstuck from where we are right now. Start moving forward and progressing to live the life that we truly want to live. It's these small acts of self-discipline that are going to be the game changer. So make sure that you are implementing these today. Remember, if anything is going through your head saying, oh no, I'll implement those tomorrow, that may be point number 3 here, that may be an excuse. So make sure you are starting with those small, simple acts of self-discipline, those tiny habits that you can start making the foundation for your greater levels of discipline. Grab yourself an accountability partner, either with someone you know, or go out and find someone who can fight your corner. And number 3 is monitor those excuses, call bogus to them, and get moving forward. If this video has been helpful for you today, don't forget to hit subscribe, and also check out the description box below, because I have put in there a lot of free resources so that you can start making the changes that you want to make and building the life you want to build and living the way you want to live. Start living on your own terms. Grab those free resources below, and I'll see you again real soon.